NBA has many legendary players, but it also has created many of the richest people and businessmen in the world. Who are they? How much do they own? Let's take a look at the NBA's top 10 wealthiest players in the world. Number 10. Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant is a household name thanks to his success as a professional basketball player, and he earns a whopping $42 million a year. The young basketball star has made other investments through his company, 35 Ventures. Among these are Whoop Investments, Acorns, Postmates, Coinbase, Robinhood, Overtime, and Whoop Investments. KD's endorsement deals with major companies like Nike, Alaska Airlines, Google, Sprint, Gatorade, Panini, General Electric, and 2K Sports boost his income from basketball and business ventures. Given his background, it's hardly surprising that he's worth an estimated $200 million. Number 9. Grant Hill. An estimated $260 million will be Grant Hill's fortune in the year 2023. He's a retired American professional basketball player. He was one of the best paid NBA players of all time when he was active. Salary alone contributes more than $200 million to his fortune. As a result of being on so many winning teams, he has built up a fortune that exceeds $50 million in bonuses alone. He was also an excellent businessman and teammate off the court. Interestingly, he eventually became a co-owner of the NBA's Atlanta Hawks basketball franchise. He recently purchased a $30 million mansion in Florida. Number 8. Hakeem Olajuwon. In 2023, former NBA player and Nigerian-American citizen Hakeem Olajuwon will have a fortune of $320 million. He was a legend during his playing days, and he still is now that he's retired. At its peak, his annual salary was $8.5 million. In 1997, Hakeem Olajuwon spent $80 million on property. In 2008, he made a profit of $100 million from the sale of that land. Aside from that, Hakeem Olajuwon has made a fortune on a private equity venture. Number 7. Shaquille O'Neal. As of 2023, experts project that Shaquille's net worth is estimated at a preposterous $400 million. A multi-million-dollar fortune is the result of his hard work and success in business. The former center for the Los Angeles Lakers is still active in the NBA. It was revealed that Shaquille O'Neal was granted Papa John's board membership. He currently receives an estimated $8.25 million in salary plus stock compensation. Shaquille's most well-known endorsements are from companies like Reebok, Pepsi, and Carnival Cruise Line. Shaquille O'Neal has collaborated with more numerous companies, including the Arizona Beverages, Aventis, Icy Hot Pain Relief Patch, Vitamin Water, Burger King, Kraft Foods, and many more. He has a wide variety of classic automobiles, including a 1963 Cadillac Eldorado, a Ferrari 355 F1 Spider, a modified Chevrolet Express G1500, a Cadillac Escalade, a Bentley Azure, Arnage and Continental GT, and a Mercedes-Benz S550 convertible with his personal touches. Number 6. Vinnie Johnson. Even though Vinnie Johnson only made $5 million during his 14-year NBA career, he is currently one of the world's wealthiest athletes. He was a member of the Seattle Supersonics, the Detroit Pistons, and the San Antonio Spurs during his 14 years in the NBA. In 1995, Johnson launched his vehicle supply firm, which he properly named the Piston Group. Johnson's first year of business was successful. His business venture was an instant hit with investors. Soon after its founding, the Piston Group surpassed all other suppliers to the automotive industry, including General Motors, Ford Motor Company, and the like. After establishing a shop in Detroit, Johnson swiftly spread across the Midwest with multiple outlets. The Piston Group has expanded beyond its original home state of Michigan and set up a company in the neighboring states of Ohio, Missouri, and Kentucky. Today, the corporation is one of the largest minority-owned businesses in the world, with annual revenues of over $3 billion. Johnson is still the Piston Group's chairman and chief executive officer. His successful business endeavors have increased his wealth to an unprecedented $400 million. Number 5. Kobe Bryant. American professional basketball player Kobe Bryant, who played for the Los Angeles Lakers, won 5 NBA titles during his career. Kobe Bryant's net worth is a staggering $600 million, proving that he has graduated from being a player to an icon. Bryant, at age 18, was the youngest player in NBA history. In the third year of his deal, he received a $70 million 6-year extension. His pay from his time with the LA Lakers of the National Basketball Association was over $328 million. He extended his deal with the NBA by 3 years and $90 million in 2010. When he passed away, his equity investment in the company that makes body armor was estimated to be worth $200 million. Just 6 years ago, he paid $6 million for his share. Coca-Cola made the purchase of 100% of body armor for a total cost of $5.6 billion in October of 2021. Number 4. Magic Johnson. Moneyball star Magic Johnson is expected to be valued at around $630 million by the year 2023. Johnson established Magic Johnson Enterprises, a holding corporation, shortly after his official retirement from basketball. Johnson is a very busy businessman who has invested in the likes of Starbucks, Cinemark Theaters, Burger King, and 24-Hour Fitness. One of the first African Americans and professional basketball players to be invested in the ownership of an NBA team, he was a prominent part owner of the Los Angeles Lakers. Sodexo, the world's largest provider of outsourced food service and facilities management, welcomed Johnson as a partial owner in 2006. On Forbes' list of the highest paid athletes, Johnson comes in at number 5. Johnson is a major investor in the LA Dodgers and the Los Angeles Sparks of the National Basketball Association, in addition to his long-since retired stake in the Lakers. His estimated $22 million annual income comes from his various interests and businesses. If you're still here, then subscribe to the channel, as Completely Sports will keep you updated with the latest sports news. Now, let's take a look at the top 3 NBA wealthiest players. Number 3. Junior Bridgeman. You're well aware that Junior Bridgeman left the basketball court for good in 1987. His career lasted for a total of 12 years, yet not a single one of those years resulted in him being selected for the All-Star squad. He is, nevertheless, one of the few professional basketball players to become wealthy after leaving the sport. In his post-basketball life, he invested in Wendy's franchise. A few days later, he purchased yet another franchise, and soon he owned 160 units of the same fast food brand. On top of that, he also acquired 120 chili restaurants. To complement his new venture in the restaurant industry, Junior Bridgeman has also acquired a bottling plant to produce the popular soft drink Coca-Cola. He runs the company that supplies Coca-Cola with the most bottles overall. This corporation generates roughly $650 million in revenue annually. His commercial ventures were fruitful that he has been consistently ranked as one of the wealthiest athletes over the past decade. During his career, he was never one of the highest paid basketball players. His highest possible pay was $350,000. Number 2. LeBron James. With a $1.2 billion fortune as of January 2023, LeBron James is one of the wealthiest people in the world. LeBron James makes about $55 million a year in endorsements on top of the $40 million he earns from the NBA. Additionally, he has a $1 billion contract with Nike that is guaranteed for life. Just for this, he receives a salary of almost $100 million a year. LeBron James has made over $125 million in salary during his first decade in the NBA. During the same period, he made an additional $326 million via endorsements. In his first 10 years as a working professional, he amassed a fortune of almost $450 million. James has joined the LA Lakers this season. As recently as the 2020-2021 season, he was expected to make $95.4 million. His on-court earnings with the Lakers are expected to account for about $31.4 million of that total. More than half of his $64 million fortune will come from sponsorship deals. LeBron will have made $428 million in NBA pay by the time his contract with the Lakers expires in 2023. James recently signed a 2-year, $97.1 million contract extension that will take him through the 2024-25 season, when he will be 40 years old. The player has the option to play the final season of the contract. Once upon a time, LeBron James held 1% of the company, which he parlayed into $30 million after Apple Inc. bought the shares in 2015. Number 1. Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan, the NBA's best player of all time, made less than $100 million in the NBA contracts, but is now worth an estimated $1.7 billion. The success of his NBA franchise, the Charlotte Hornets, and the Jordan brand are major contributors to his wealth. In recent years, he reportedly made $100 million per year from Nike royalties. In March of 2021, Jordan was part of the $305 million investment in the startup company behind NBA Top Shot, Dapper Labs. The Jordan brand is responsible for $5 billion in annual sales for Nike. Jordan's annual earnings still surpasses those of LeBron James, even though he retired from the NBA in 2003, and his current net worth is $1.7 billion because of Nike endorsements and business interests. This ends our video for today. Who is your favorite richest player? Share with us and subscribe to the channel to see more videos like this.